Hi guys, how you guys doing? It's Hump Day lesson day, so I'm going to do a guitar lesson here. I may just teach a bunch of stuff, but one thing I want to start with is some teaching about blues, because I do blues for Tuesday, or blues for Tuesdays, and I have some interesting ideas that I think might be cool about the blues and stuff. So I'll start with there and see where the lesson goes. I don't know. I don't really have it all planned out. But someone asked me in a comment, isn't blues just 1-4-5? He specifically said 1-4-5. I corrected some mistakes, but I'd like to go over with this video here. First of all, first mistake, and not that he's wrong. I just wanted to correct some of that thought. It's if I say 1, I usually imply a major triad, but blues isn't based on the progression of blues isn't triads, it's dominant 7th chord. So technically you have to say 1-7, or the dominant 7th chord on the 1 note. So more like this. It's got a minor 7th in there to make it a 4-note chord, a dominant 7th chord. If it were just triads, that wouldn't be any different that would be the same harmony as classical music, and that's not. Blues is different harmony than classical music. Classical, if it's just 1-4-5, triads, it would be. Oops, I just unplugged something. Sorry about that, guys. That's interesting. Triads would just be, but blues. Assuming it's 1-4-5, and technically it was more accurate to say 1-5-4, because the 4 chord doesn't really progress to the 5 chord in strict blues progression. It's 5-4. The 5 chord goes to the 4 chord, not the 4 to the 5, because it's 1-4. Or should I say 1-7, 4-7. 1-7, 4-7, 1-7, 5-7, 4-7, 1-7, 5-7. So it's more accurate to say 1-7, 5-7, 4-7 than it is to say 1-4-5. And then that's the progression of blues. With what you play the lead, what you play over that with lead is interesting, and I'd like to focus on some of my thoughts on that. The simplest way to do it of all is just to play the minor pentatonic scale over a blues progression. So you would have the 1. You just play. Of course, minor pentatonic. The thing about that is that you have a minor third over major third in the chord. So the melody note is a minor third, and the harmony note is a major third, which works in that context. It doesn't work if you do the opposite. If you play a minor third in the harmony and try to play a major third in the lead, it just sounds awful. It doesn't sound right. But if you play a major third in the harmony, you can play a minor third in the melody, and it sounds bluesy. So that's cool. But because of the major-minor interplay, the fact that you can play major and minor at the same time, you can add to the minor pentatonic scale. You can play the major pentatonic scale, which one way of doing that is just play the minor pentatonic scale on a minor third below the root you're on. So if I'm in A blues, I would play an F sharp minor pentatonic scale, which is really, in this context, an A major pentatonic scale. You have 2 scales. You can play minor pentatonic, a major pentatonic, or minor pentatonic, a minor third down. And you go back and forth between those. That was a blue note I haven't talked about yet. Now, what blue notes, or adding notes to the minor pentatonic scale comes from is also the adding of major with minor. The first context of this is take the if I'm in A, I would take the A major pentatonic scale, which is also the F sharp minor pentatonic scale, and play a major third with that F sharp minor pentatonic scale. Did I do that right? Did I say that right? No, I didn't. Scratch that. Sorry. Here I go. I'll try that again. F sharp minor pentatonic scale is a major pentatonic scale. Okay? What I'm going to do is over the A, to add to the A major pentatonic scale, I'm going to play a minor third as well. So starting with A major pentatonic, we add a minor third to that. I think that's right. Yes. I'm getting this. Yeah. So I have a major pentatonic with a minor third added, which if I play that from the as an F sharp minor pentatonic scale, and then having played the minor third from the A major pentatonic position, I would have a flat 5, because if I'm an A major pentatonic and I play a minor third, that would be a C. But if I'm an F sharp minor pentatonic, that C is a flat 5. It's the tritone. And that tritone, if I play that C note, which is the minor third in A, along with the F sharp minor pentatonic scale, I get an F sharp blues scale. So all the blues, and then if I take that F sharp minor F sharp blues scale and play it up in the A position, I have an A blues scale, and that's where the flat 5 for the blues scale comes from. So really that explains the blue note, the flat 5 for the minor pentatonic added to make it a blues scale. You're really taking it as a major. You're taking it as a an A blues scale. You're taking it as a C major pentatonic with an added flat minor third, and E flat from C. The E flat, which is the minor third of the C, becomes the flat 5 of the A. Hence, the flat 5 added to the minor pentatonic scale to make a blues scale. It's not a flat 5 out of nowhere. They didn't just decide the flat 5 is a consonant interval. But if you take if you start with the minor pentatonic, A minor pentatonic, make it C major pentatonic, add a flat third to the C major pentatonic, which is now E flat. Play it back down again in A. You have a minor pentatonic with an added flat 5, which is a blues scale. So that's where the blues scale comes from. It's not just a flat 5 out of nowhere. It's that flat 5 is the minor third in the major pentatonic. That's a minor third above the minor pentatonic that you're going to make into a blues scale. So there's that. Now I added one more thing. I made the Wiseman scale is similar. The Wiseman scale is a minor pentatonic. I kind of invented this scale, but I'm just whatever. If I didn't, well, then sorry. A minor pentatonic with an added major third. So that would be let's do that again. Major third. So if you're just taking a minor pentatonic, if I'm an A minor pentatonic with an added major third, which would be C sharp, makes a 6-note scale that I call the Wiseman scale. It's a minor pentatonic with an added major third. it's cool. It's not as important or as good as the blues scale, but it's second to that. Anyway, if you take a Wiseman scale and a blues scale and add them both together, you get a 9-note scale that's sometimes called the composite blues scale. It's all 9 notes you can use in blues, which is all the 12 notes you have except the flat second, major 7th, and the minor 6th. So if I take a 9-note scale that's a combination of a blues scale and a Wiseman scale, I get this. I get a... That's interesting. It kind of sounds messy when you play it all strung out like it together like that, but you can take notes here and there and mix it up, and you can get good blues sounds. So that's step one in my idea about blues solo. But here's another step. I don't just leave it at that. If it were just that, I'd kind of be bored with blues. There's another way of looking at blues. You can look at each chord in the blues progression and do a dominant scale over that chord, over the 1 chord, 1-7 chord. You could play a dominant mode of a scale. And there's 2 choices that are most obvious to me. First of all, the dominant mode in major scale is mixolydian. So you can play a mixolydian mode over a 1 mixolydian mode over the 1-7 chord. And then over the 4 chord, play a 4 mixolydian scale. And then over the 5 chord, play a 5 mixolydian scale. And over the 1, back to 1 mixolydian. So that's the sound that you have. 4 mixolydian. 1 mixolydian. 5 mixolydian. 4 mixolydian. So you're basically playing a mixolydian on the 1, then mixolydian on the 4, mixolydian on the 5, and all that. And that's enough. I like that sound. But I took it a step further in my last jam. Yesterday I did Blues for Tuesday, and I took it a step further. I almost ended the whole thing, the whole jam. I almost ended it. Then I thought, let's not end it. Let's do something different. And I added a section that instead of doing the mixolydian for each dominant, mode on each dominant chord, how about the dominant mode of the harmonic minor scale? That would be a Phrygian dominant, which is also supports a dominant 7th chord. That's why it's hence the name dominant. And that would be play a Phrygian dominant mode over the 1 chord, Phrygian dominant over the 4 chord. Let's do this right here. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Phrygian dominant over the 1. Phrygian dominant over the 5. So you're playing as if you're playing the 5 mode of a harmonic minor scale on each of the 3 chords of the blues progression. So A7 would give A Phrygian dominant. D7 7, play a D Phrygian dominant. A dominant 7, play an A Phrygian dominant. E7, play E Phrygian dominant. And there you have it. You can play, you could even do the 5th mode of melodic minor for that. Would be an Aeolian dominant. You can do that too. You could probably even do the, what would it be? The 4th mode of melodic minor would be a Lydian dominant. You could do a Lydian, any mode that supports a root, major 3rd, perfect 5th, and minor 7th, i.e. dominant 7th chord, could work. You could do Aeolian dominant for 1, 4, and 5. You could do Lydian dominant for 1, 4, and 5. You could, but I choose right now mixed Lydian and or Phrygian dominant. That's cool with blues. Is you can do all kinds of stuff. You know, of course the Aeolian dominant would just be an Aeolian mode with a major 3rd, or it could be considered a mixed Lydian mode with a minor 6th. And the Lydian dominant is can either call it a mixed Lydian with a raised 4 or a Lydian with a flatted 7th. Ooh, a lot of thought there, but I'm not sure what that would sound like. I'm not even sure. I'm not really into the melodic minor scale that much, but that does not mean that you couldn't do that. But now that I've mentioned that, I want to go on about Allan Holdsworth's 10 scales he uses, but especially the first 4, which are the way it's a version of the major scale, a harmonic minor scale, melodic minor scale, and harmonic major scale. But he does it all based on G. And if you're in C major, he does it all on D, which is the Dorian mode. But he bases it on alterations of the Dorian mode. I want to talk about that for a second, and then we'll end the lesson. So let's say I'm Allan Holdsworth, LOL, like I am. Sure. Let's say I'm in E. Let's do it in E. So that would be D major, but yet I'm doing it in E, so that'd be E Dorian. So if I play E Dorian, that's a version of the major scale. At least it's a mode of the major scale, so it represents that scale. Then if you want to make a melodic minor scale, you would take that Dorian and raise the 7th. Actually, right now I kind of like that. That actually sounds good to me right now. Sound that bad. And then if you want a harmonic minor, raise the 7th and flat the 6th. That just gives you harmonic minor. And then if you want, so now you've counted for major scale via the Dorian mode. Melodic minor via Dorian mode with the raised 7th, harmonic minor, which is a Dorian mode with a raised 7th and a flat 6th, and then to count for To account for harmonic major, take the fourth mode of harmonic major, which is a Lydian minor, i.e. Lydian for minor third, but it could also be considered Dorian with a major, which is made with a major seventh and a raised 4, sharp 4. Literally, that's a Dorian mode. I mean, that's literally a Lydian mode with a minor third, i.e. Lydian minor, which is the fourth mode of harmonic major. Let's do that. I'm going to do this right here. Let's see. Let's see. Raise 4, 5. Oh, I get it. Yeah. Raise 4. Yeah. Or it also can be called a Dorian sharp 4. I think. No, that's the fourth mode of harmonic minor. This is it's not a Dorian sharp 4. It's a Lydian. It's a Lydian minor. It's a Lydian. That's Lydian minor. It's a Lydian mode of minor third. Yeah, you're talking major harmonic major scale. So that would be the fourth mode of harmonic major. E Dorian with a raised seventh and a raised fourth is the fourth mode of B harmonic major. So let's play B harmonic major. Oh, sorry. And if you play that starting on E, you get a Lydian minor. I kind of like that scale. So that would represent the harmonic major scale, because that Dorian with a raised seventh and a raised fourth is the fourth mode of harmonic major. So if I play that in E Dorian sharp 7 with major seventh and sharp 4, that would be the fourth mode of, again, B harmonic major. That's his, and then he just goes on to add one note to each of those 4 chord scales to get 8 scales, and then he just does a diminished scale, which is a symmetrical scale, and he does one of the Bashan modes, which is the 10th scale is just 3 augmented triads, half step apart, or a fifth apart, like this. Not too useful. At least I don't think so. Of course, the diminished scale is just. But those first 4 he does, I like those. Okay, so anything else on my mind? Stuff we did blues. Did Allan Holdsworth? No idea. What else can I think of? Let's see. I'm gonna do some technique again. I finally got new picks from Bertrand's Music. These are Ernie Ball Prodigy 2.0 millimeters. I like them. And like I said, I like anchoring my fingers onto the pick guard to do like Michelangelo for his alternate picking, because it makes you more precise. It keeps your hand from going all over the place, and it kind of looks cool. It makes it faster, I think, because you just use small motions. And I think it's efficient. And I didn't do that. He put that video out in 1987. It's like 38 years later, I finally go, oh, I kind of like that. And then the way I prefer to tap is with the other two remaining fingers, not other than the pinky. I don't really use the pinky to tap. I don't know. That's just me. But I'd rather do that than change to tap with my first finger and have to change the pick to hold it with the middle finger and the thumb. I don't like that kind of gymnastics. I'd drop the pick half the time. So yes, I do tap with second and third fingers. The third finger has a different sound than the second finger. They have different sounds. The second finger has a stronger sound. Third finger has a little lighter tone. I like it. And then go from finger to finger, like use both. Especially when you're crossing strings, both string to string. And like I've said before, I really like using all four fingers of the left hand for licks. It sounds different if you use your pinky than if you don't. It sounds different than if you just were to not use the pinky. And playing over the neck is cool. I think I'm borrowing from Michelangelo here too. I don't do it too much because it just doesn't sound as good usually. But it's good to have your little finger in action because it becomes the anchor finger. It becomes the first finger. Hard to do unless you practice it all the time, you know. And vibrato is good. Do your whole hand. Don't just try not to just use the finger. Use the whole hand. And use harmonics once in a while. With the wine bar often, I like to do. And use octaves sometimes. I tend to it's often just play one note, but sometimes the octaves are cool. But, you know, it gives a different sound than just one note. It's not a chord like a power chord, but it's an octave. It sounds cool. So anyway, I guess that's the lesson. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys peace, love, and rock and roll.